Hello, I thought I would come to you with one of my favourite practices that I use daily at the moment from the woods, because the woods is also one of my favourite places to be, and I thought combining those two things together would be pretty awesome. One of the things that I focus on a lot is about how do we help ourselves create healthy neural pathways, which means how do we create healthy thoughts? Now, for those of us who are overthinkers and we're anxious and we've spent loads of time either with PTSD, big trauma, little t trauma, stress, anxiety, I've said that already, which must mean it's super important, we create a certain type of thought pattern that spirals. And often also those thoughts are self-critical. So this inner critic, the way that we talk to ourselves, is really not kind. Mine has always been very intense, very critical, very belittling, very judgmental. And over the course of my work as a coach and also my own personal work, which feeds into everything that I do, one of the things that I focus on the most is how do I lovingly change my thoughts that are really critical, from disempowering ones that reinforce feelings that I am helpless and things are hopeless, to things that where and also I reject myself, so thoughts like you're no good, you're only good enough if you're perfect, things like that, into self-love, so moving into empowerment and self-love, which is the key that underpins everything that I do. And one of the practices that I love to do is to combine Aromapoint therapy, which is using essential oils with acupuncture points, and placing it on the part of the body that helps create a new experience. They're not really for circuit breakers, so if you're having these repetitive thoughts, it's not something that you can use that's obvious, that's going to create a circuit breaker in your thought patterning, but it's a really gorgeous intention to say to yourself, look, I'm going to do this practice every day with the intention of creating something new. And that's what I love about using this. Now today, there are two oils that I use normally for this practice. The first is rose and the other one is frankincense. So frankincense is the one I'm going to be using today. Rose is lovely because if you're thinking about self-love and making things more loving, then there's nothing more gorgeous than rose as the most purest form of that divine feminine essence. It's utterly gorgeous. And frankincense for me is like the divine masculine. It's the masculine in its proper form, which to me means healthy boundaries, good critical thinking, the ability to make healthy decisions and choices, using our brains in a healthy way, and having thoughts that support our creative endeavours and how we want to create our lives rather than feel overwhelmed a lot of the time. So the practice that I like to do is I put it on the acupuncture point GV20, which is that point, the crown of the head in the centre, and I take my frankincense and I rub it over my finger, and then I place it gently. So Aromapoint therapy is about gentle touch. I don't want to create a dent in my head. It's about learning to be gentle with ourselves. So a gentle touch in the crown of my head, and I hold it there until I can visualize what I'm about to share with you. And the idea is that you are inviting frankincense, the essence of clarity of thought, of boundaries, of being empowered or feeling strong, not power over somebody, but the best form of power, which is the feeling of being self-resourced and in alignment with yourself and feeling strong. And I'm going to invite frankincense to weave its way into my brain. So I'm going to imagine the essence of the oil going down all of those neural pathways, along those thought patterns, along the crevices of the parts of the brain where I've had the same destructive thought over and over. And I'm going to send it into those spaces and smooth it over and almost encase the whole of the brain in a really gorgeous frankincense bubble. And this is really awesome. It's such a lovely and peaceful and gentle but intentional practice that you can do, because what it's doing is connecting you with something that is in its essence, frankincense in its essence, is those things that we're working and drawing ourselves towards. And by working in combination with the essential oil, it's like having an ally by your side. We can do this together, and frankincense helps us to remember what we're here to do and why we're here to do it. So I love doing that practice every day anyway, but especially on the days when I feel like my thoughts are really taking over, and just spend a minute breathing gently. Oh my God, that smell is just utterly glorious. And then using the visualization just to see it seeping into all of those areas and transforming it into empowered thoughts, strong thoughts, and healthy thoughts. I hope you find that little bit useful. And in the meantime, if you've got any questions, do let me know. Thank you.